Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're having a magical day, and thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. The warrant dividend is here. We've been discussing it a little bit the last few days, getting a grasp on everything to come, which is not far into the future. So the hype is definitely back, and wouldn't you know it, the shills are already out in full force, telling you to sell your warrants. Maybe they're good actors here to help you. But from everything I can tell, that's going to be the worst possible play for us to make as a community. At the same time, short volume is spiking. Roaring Kitty's back on his main Reddit account, breaking his silence. So today, we're going to be covering all of that. We have a pre-warrant checklist, making sure no one gets left behind, discussing why shorts will be trapped if we as a community can hoard the warrants, going through our options chain, seeing a lot of volume on that, some new expiry dates rolled out as well, and of course, today's price action as well. So, the headlines and our narrative, we see a lot of posts on Superstonk discussing selling your warrants, even saying, oh, transfer out of computer share because you can't sell your warrants there, you can only exercise them. Oh, it's almost like that's like that for a reason. So, I almost laughable to me personally, but I've been wrong before. Feel free to let me know in the comments why selling your warrants is a good idea. Something that has limited supply, we definitely want to be hoarding. There's no need, in my opinion, to sell that for a phantom share. We all know that they can reapothecate shares at will. But what they can't do is create more warrants. So they will paint themselves into a corner, and I believe already are, which is why we see the initial campaign to get the holders to sell those warrants, right? So that to me is suspect as all hell. On that note, it's not just shills on Superstunk. There are good actors, guardian angels there as well. If you want to take that angle, I probably shouldn't. But billionaires in disguise, both on the long side and the short side, there is a lot at stake. So don't kid yourself. So Kitty's back with a 1-day streak on his main DFV account on Reddit, which is to me significant. We'll continue to watch that. Previously, he was on. Well, we don't know if it was him on that account, but it's appeared to be a Roaring Kitty named account with one post from like 10 years ago about stocks, which like who would have that account chilling other than him? So take that as you will, a little tinfoil before, but now much more concrete since it's his main account that we've seen him post on so many times, and all looking for that post. Wouldn't that be amazing? Short volume is spiking, ramping up, which lines up perfectly with the narrative push. Push things down. Also, suppress the price with FUD. It's just classic stuff. So we could see more of that, and to me, it signifies that maybe we are onto something. Maybe they are in danger. So moving on, that is fairly speculative, all of that, but again, just like we take entry models. I don't know if you watch the daily trading recaps, but we like to layer this up, and that increases our conviction, right? The confluence of all of these different things lining up is really good. So it's not just the warrants, but now we've got the Reddit account coming online as well, right? So quite literally the biggest corporate catalyst that we've seen since this has all happened. So don't take it too lightly. This is a big deal, and the checklist is really important. So first off, check your broker, confirm with them that they can actually deliver the warrant dividend to you. That's very important. If not, you need to transfer out of that broker immediately. Do not accept cash in lieu. For every person who does that, we are letting them off the hook of a warrant that they need to deliver. If they can't deliver, they have to go to the market and hedge against it. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So make sure you transfer to a broker that will accept the warrant. get on it right away. This could take 2+ weeks, and we don't have a lot of time. Share lending, make sure your share lending's turned off definitely before the 3rd. That's going to be a loophole. If these brokers are short, they don't get enough warrants to deliver everyone. They're going to say, oh, well, sorry, your share lending was on. That's why you didn't get it. Wah, wah, wah. Going to be brutal. Don't be that guy. Round up your shares. If you got, X8, get an extra 2, whatever your number happens to be. Get to the nearest 10, right? That'll help as the warrants are rounded down, right? So distribution is going to happen on the 7th. You want to make sure that they hit your account. If they don't hit your account, beep, 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 on the phone to your broker. You got to figure it out. That is going to be brutal and can potentially happen. I want to talk a little bit about that. So that's going to come into computer share as well. The guaranteed delivery of this warrant based on the inherent faith that your broker can deliver it to you. In theory, they should be able to, and you would assume that they do. Why would you, give them benefit of the doubt, right? But we are a little bit more suspect than that around here. So kind of maybe go through that as well. That's a little tinfoil, but it is what it is. It's still worth discussing, in my opinion. So make sure that it hits your account on the 7th. If it does, fantastic. We're rolling forward. If anybody wants to sell their warrants, I'll buy them on the open market. I recommend that you do as well, everyone else. If anyone is just going to go and I'm selling these for cash to buy shares, I'll just buy those warrants. I hope other people are going to be buying those warrants as well. We need to hoard them as a community, in my opinion. So holding those warrants, hoarding them is going to force shorts to hedge. We'll discuss that in a moment here. And that, if not already above 32, will drive the price up to 32 and above 32, at which point, instead of still selling it, you can convert it to shares at a discount, while now basically deleting it from existence, keeping it out of the hands of those who need it to deliver, which is the whole idea. Just don't ever let them have it. So why? Why must shorts hedge in the open market to drive the price up if they can't get the warrants? So no warrants for shorts. Only registered shareholders are going to get that warrant. Shorts don't qualify. And the dilution bypass is shorts, which is nice. So exercise warrants create new shares, but they're going to go directly into the hands of the longs, never the shorts, so they don't get to cover with those, which again is something that we don't really want them to do. We do, but at the same time, why don't they cover at a higher price? If you don't want to cover now, you don't have to. You cover later. The supply lock. So if longs hoard their shares and their warrants, the new supply stays entirely locked up while still having that forced delivery due. And so the hedging problem is that shorts still need to hedge risk and eventually return their borrowed shares, but they can't source them through warrants anymore due to the share lending being turned off, the share transfers happening. So there'll be massive share recalls. Cost of borrow is going to rise and put pressure on them there as well. The only option at that point is really to buy stock from the open market, and that's going to affect the price depending on the volume that they'll need, right? So as price rises above 32, they're going to have to hedge even harder, adding more pressure. So definitely in their interest to keep it under, but if the floodgate breaks, we do have a cascading effect that could potentially take place. So in short, if the longs refuse to sell their warrants, shorts can't rely on dilution to save them anymore, and they're going to be forced to go to the open market, fueling upwards momentum. So again, just hoard your shares, force them to hedge against it. That's going to drive the price up, at which point the warrants should be in the money, and you can exercise those, which is nice, while maintaining your percentage of the float, which is important. And then we can talk about the options chain, and then we'll get into our technical analysis here a little bit, right? So, bop-a-da-bop. September 12th, this Friday. I think that's like tomorrow or something, right? So max pain's at 23. We are trading above that at 24.80, almost 25. There's a ton of volume, a buttload of volume at 25. Quite a bit at 24 as well. Excuse me. If I was a market maker, I would really want to burn these people. That's a lot. And if I was a short position, I would definitely not want to have these finish in the money at the end of the week. And I think a big reason is why we see, the form so busy today, right? Is it's important. It's a big week, and it matters more than maybe many people realize. If we're above 25 to close the week, woo-wee, could be getting pretty spicy next week. I would assume they don't even not only close us but low 25, but below 24 too, like a 23.9. I would not put it past them. So max pain's only 23. They could definitely get it lower. I imagine we'll see max pain climb in the coming weeks. Stacked volume here, 24, 25. They're going to pin it and burn them. It's only one more day they can do it. Moving forward to the 19th and 26th, we're piled up, at 25, and the next week I think it's piled up at 26 here, right? So walking us up, which is really nice. If we hold support, the gap fill to 28 is definitely realistic for these expiries. Max pain 23, 23.50. We could see that move up, but I'm sure they'd love to pin it below here as well. But if we do get up to fill that gap and have these act as support, because we do have some time on them, and it's not only that expiry, but even go to the monthly expiry. There's a lot at 24 here, and if we get above 30, there's a lot at 32, which could act as support if we can clear it, right? So moving on, October 3rd, thin volume here, right? Not much going on really at all. A lot at 24, 25, a bit here at 30 as well. So could become explosive once warrants are officially distributed. A lot of theta decay currently from now till then, though, right? Like this is at the distribution date. So, these contracts basically relying on that share recall, the cost to borrow, just a squeeze or tightening of liquidity. We'll see how those pan out, right? They're a little early for me, but there's action here, so we should discuss those. Moving forward, the 10th and the 17th, spreads between 25 and 30, and then 28 and 30, with a ton of them on the 17th at 35. At 30, like a literal ton, 40,000, which is extensive, right? So gamma exposure could light up the price if it moves quickly enough into the record and distribution window. So this is past both of them, right? So if we get a run in, these could light up really nicely because I think they've got enough time to them, right? So moving out, I would expect them to just try to pin it under 24, but the real setup is the potential run towards 28 next week if that holds. And then where do we find support after that, right? So let's say we fill the gap, get into the technicals here a little bit. Our support here holds here at 24. We fill the gap to 28. Do we clear the gap and then the upper band of the gap becomes support? That's not unlikely. We also have a secondary gap above that that we could consider. With that being said, I will officially delete our AMD pattern. I don't think it's going to pan out, right? And we're more focused now on the breaker block holding and the reversal taking place. As long as the price holds, our averages are going to reverse, and then we want to see those averages cross the slower average of the 200, giving us, our golden cross on the 1 day, signifying continued support, which would be good, because we're talking about this whole process of getting the warrants holding the warrants, forcing them to hedge, and we're in a good position to do all that. It's not like this is taking place at the top while we're about to come tumbling down, right? This is all starting together at a really, really good spot, which is interesting. Almost like it's been lined up on purpose. Nah, you don't think he's a dummy, do you? Uh, technically speaking, intraday we're up 2%, holding that gap, right? Holding that lower band, breaking down just this morning in pre-market, but scam hours, whatever, who cares? Holding it is nice. Ending the week within it will be good. If we can clear the week in 25, definitely filling that gap next week. If we don't, I still think we do. Looking for our reversals to form. Let's check out maybe the 4-hour gives us a little bit more information, right? So we have our reversal signal set with our key level breakout, which is the 200, and then we have a trend retest to the 21 moving average. So this is looking really, really good. Keep that 21 holding on the 4-hour, which is going to allow the 1 day to reverse, holding the 200 on the 1 day. Then the EMAs catch up. They're going to cross the 200 because it's slower average. At that point, I'm sure the gap is going to be filled, which will apply more pressure to the shorts when we get our dividend, because there's a good chance that when it's delivered, we're not trading at 25. We're trading at 28 or more potentially, which is great. And then obviously, in the coming days and weeks, we're all going to discover a little bit more about the warrants. We'll have maybe a little bit more of an official narrative, as there is a lot of confusion right now. I understand, it's new to many of us. But all things for the best, I believe. It's been done for a reason. It's, they turned the company around for years now. We've all just been watching this take place, waiting, and the moment it's been done, let's go, right? That's how I'm interpreting it. Remember that this is Ryan's livelihood as well. His stake is massive. This definitely affects him, and he is obviously looking for the best income. Best income, but best outcome for himself, which is obviously aligning with yours as well. So all good things here. Liking what I see with the technicals. There's not much to break down day to day. It's pretty slow now that earnings has passed. Kind of just taking a breath, getting our checklist in order. Make sure you have that figured out, and go through the warrant dividend distribution fact by GameStop. I'll leave a link for that. This just lets you know that you need to take your share lending off. Make sure that your broker supports it. All the things that we're kind of forming for that checklist, which is nice. Ortex, keeping an eye on that borrow rate. That's kind of staying similar. We imagine that to start climbing as there's the share recall. The borrows are being turned off as we approach our distribution date. And just chilling. Short interest is whatever. Where'd that go, right? We already discussed the option chain, which is nice. Discussed our technicals. I think that's everything. Again, thank you all so much for watching the videos. I really appreciate that. Looking forward to being here alongside you all throughout the remainder of the journey. If there's anything in addition that you'd like covered that I'm not covering, don't hesitate. I'll incorporate it, right? I'd be happy to. So in closing, the warrant dividend is the single most bullish event GameStop has seen in years. Shorts can't touch them. So if we hold exercise, we're going to force demand to the open market and then deny shorts access, hopefully forever. And then don't fall for the sell side of it, in my opinion. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is incorrect. Make sure you get the checklist complete, and then just kind of comprehend and make sure that I am correct, because again, I could be wrong, that the shorts are going to be trapped as long as we hold and hoard and watch the mechanics play out, right? Because that's going to be the important part, is watching the data unfold to give us confirmation of all of this and to see how pressure builds. Cheers. Thank you all so much. If you're interested, I could also do live streams throughout the day, which would be even more boring than this, but it's okay if that's, give the people what they want. We have the live charts, and maybe we could check in every hour on the hour and that would be fine. Or if these videos are enough, that's okay. And then maybe we just go live on a day where we squeeze or something, right? That's probably acceptable. Other than that, if you have any songs for the squeeze, building a playlist for myself. I'd love to hear your favorite jam. And cheers. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. You know the shenanigans as always. And yeah, take care.